You've been in Europe for several years. How is the student life? How is the working life from a Chinese perspective?
Yeah, so actually in the student life, what I did from bachelor and master, it's quiet in Austria. Not so hurried every day. Sometimes every week I just need 3 days to go to the university to study, and the other times I can learn by myself or I can do whatever I want, play some games to relax, drinking some beers with my friends. The working life it's a little bit different because you have less time to do your hobbies. You have only the night time and the weekend to do something what you want to do. I think in Europe for working, it's relaxed, not so hurried like in China. Because in China, some of the company in different kind of area they should work on Saturday. Sometimes Sunday they also need to work. But here, if you don't work as the supermarket or restaurant for the normal company, you just working from Monday to Friday. That's the one of the reason I prefer to working in Europe. You get more time to relax only from Monday to Friday, and weekend you can do whatever you want. You can go climbing the mountain to visit the views. And by the way, the views in Austria is really good, and the air and the skies are also quite nice because there are more jungle in Austria. You can see more natural things, not like in the big city in China, like Peking, Shanghai. It's full of people, and the people in Austria is, of course, less than China.
I think this is also a long touristic journey. So it's sometimes the people say that the study and tourism. So sometimes mix of tourism experience with the studying together. So what is your experience of comparing China climate with the European climate?
And you see, in China, of course, there are so many tourist cities, which are also not bad. But in Austria, you can see more jungle or more natural things. Like me, I'm living in south of China. I've never seen snow, or I just seen 1 or 2 times snowing in my city. So I moved to Austria. Every year I can see the snowing there. I love snows, but not so cold in the winter because all the flats they have the heatings. So it's not like my hometown. There is no heating and also very cold in the winter. So I prefer this weather here, and it make me comfortable and good seeing. And of course, when you climb the mountain in Austria, you can see many things you can never see in China.
Very good. Let's talk about the differences between China and Europe. It's not always about the language. Sometimes people talking about the different culture. Can you mention a few of those differences, a kind of cultural differences between China and Europe, or mainly, let's say, German speaking areas?
Okay, that's I think the working culture or the working it's not so similar between China and Europe here because in China your leaders were always pushing you, but in Austria they don't push you so much. Just at the end, they will say, "Did you finish this project or not? If not, how much times you need more?" So I also made this kind of mistake at the beginning. For example, there is one of the Chinese employer in China. He always pushing me every day to find some solution for them. So at the beginning, I always to find the people who can solve the problem to him in our office. But at the end, the boss said you don't need to answer the guys who is from China every time. You just give the task to another guys so he can help me to answer the question to the Chinese side. So I think that's a little bit different culture between China and here. So it's like in China you need to working very hurried, very fast, but in Europe you need just working comfortable. You don't need to working so hurried every day. It's very relaxed here, I think.
This is, of course, correct. I mean, this is something, of course, it's different from one country to the other in Europe, but at least in the German-speaking area, in Germany, in Austria, in Switzerland, and partially in some neighboring countries, the situation is like this, that the employers give you some freedom to work on the project in a relaxed way. So working in a relaxed situation on the project might beneficial for you and also for the employer, because then you have more focus on solving the problem. It's not about the amount of the work, it's not about how fast you work, it's about the effectivity. And for that reason, the quality of the work and being effective is more important. All the Central Europe is about the quality, and that is actually what is different than working hard and working a lot, which is actually the main part of the China. But apart from that, what are the other differences when it comes to the, let's say, after work culture?
We also had some activities after job. For example, after finished the whole week job, sometimes on the weekend we went to some bar to drink some beers together. In the evening, we talk some stories. On our side, we can also play some games together, play some sport, did some sport on the weekend, climb the mountains, for example. I think it's really relaxable. And in my company, we did also some barbecues in the afternoons on Friday or Thursdays. Finished on a big project, so we celebrated together. It's like a big family.
Yeah, that kind of excursion that comes at the end of some project is also quite interesting. Jackie, did you have the opportunity to have the Mitarbeitergespräch or the staff appraisal so far, or this was not yet happened to you?
I think this year, because now it's beginning of the year, it's January. At that moment, I did my vacation, went back to the company. So our boss talked to us what we should do this year and what we are going to finish some project and how many employer we are going to get more in this year and what is the next step for our global goal in this year and how many export what we should do in the future in this year, something like that.
Okay, you had already a general discussion, but this was not so specific for you, for your specific goals and so on.
It's for all of the employer. It's not special for me.
Of course, this kind of a staff appraisal, they will come in a private meeting, usually in between the employers or the boss and the employee. And of course, we can talk about it so that you can get prepared on that. If you do achieve your goal during the year, usually you can ask for a raise. So your salary will be increased. This is actually the important point, how you manage a kind of a staff appraisal. And this is very important that you mention that these goals, they were defined in the beginning, you achieve this goal, and you have also your personal plan for the next year. So this will help you to define the specific goals. And at the end of the year, when everything is perfectly done, you usually get an appraisal, a kind of increase in your salary when the goals are done. Maybe later we can talk about this. Thank you very much.
Thank you for this interview for me also. I learned a lot. And I think we can talk about our next task and what we are going to do in the future.
Yeah, of course. We will continue the collaboration anyway. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, then talk to you later. Okay, thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.